The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos with another big weekend of stakes trials racing action. The best fillies in the nation will race in the trials to the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Oaks on Saturday night. Kindergarten winner, Double Down 1, 2, 3 stakes winner Asher and graded stakes finalists Check-In Cartel and Southern Divine will be in action. On Sunday night, top sophomores will be in the trials to the Grade 2 El Primero del Año Derby. Trial hopefuls include Grade 1 Edberg Million winner Political Rivalry and Wild West winner 5 Bar Supreme. The horses with the 10 fastest times for each race will advance to the finals on March 24th and 25th. And as always, Los Alamitos will feature night racing's best bets, like our early and late pick fours, and the $10,000 pick six promo on Sundays if there's not a carryover. Enjoy the best of daytime simulcast racing at Los Alamitos. For Vessels Club reservations, call 714-820-2681. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this almost Friday, Thursday, coming to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at our studio station, South Point studio station, I should say, the South Point studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on the Las Vegas Strip, Las Vegas Boulevard to be exact, and we welcome you to the show. Here in Las Vegas, right now outside it's 47 degrees, so it's still cold out here, but we're getting it warmed up. But believe it or not, we're going to tip off a little bit, just a slight over 70 degrees. It's going to be 71, they say, today. Now, it's going to be mostly sunny for the rest of the weekend here in case you're making plans to come on up and join us here in Las Vegas for the weekend. But it's going to be windy. It's going to be windy for the next couple of days. But the weather seems to be just about right here in Las Vegas for this time of the year. Don't forget, today is that extra day we get every 4 years in February, February 29th. So for those of you fortunate enough to be born on February 29th, happy birthday. Every 4 years you get a happy birthday. So you get a happy birthday this year anyhow. In any case, that's the weather like it is here. But more importantly, as you know, is the weather that we keep looking at and forecasting for Southern California, especially for Saturday on the weekend, because Saturday, of course, is Big Cap Day. I'm not talking about a cap. I'm talking about the handicap, the Santa Anita Handicap Day, along with the San Felipe that has a Kentucky Derby leaderboard points to it. Big racing card set for Saturday at Santa Anita. However, 85% chance of rain, and you know what happens when it rains there in Southern California these days. So what they did yesterday, after they took entries for the stakes races, they're going to finish off taking entries for Saturday today in Southern California at Santa Anita. And they're going to make a decision this morning based on predictions of the weather for Saturday, whether they will conduct a racing card on Saturday or transfer the 4 big stakes races on the Saturday program to Sunday, which means the Big Cap will run on Sunday, the San Felipe will run on Sunday, and the other 2 stakes races on the 4 stakes race card on Saturday will run on Sunday. That is forthcoming. That decision should be made early this morning, and hopefully by the time we get to John Lendo on the show, he'll have that information for us. Maybe. In any case, that's the way it is in Southern California as far as the weather there. There is a front that's making its way through the Northwest and the Northern California right now that is expected to come on down and make its way through Southern California. Now, as far as any of the other weather concerned today, it looks like it's pretty clear throughout the country. There is some rain in the parts of Texas they need it badly because of those raging fires that are in Texas that is really causing a lot of devastation there. Our thoughts go out to those folks there. And, of course, in the northern part of Texas, actually, it looks like it's going to be snowing there in any case. And the only other weather that we have to report that could be any problem at all was northern Pennsylvania and parts of New York. But it looks like it might be okay in southern in southern New York, which is, of course, where Aqueduct Racetrack is at. So we'll keep a track on that. Florida looks clear and great, so we got great racing going on down there. And so on today's show, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the fields for the Gotham, the San Felipe, the Battaglia, and the Fountain of Youth with Jonathan Ardoon. Take a thumbnail of where the trainers are pointing their horses, etc. I could tell you Brad Cox got a slew full of horses that are running in those races over the weekend because they hold Kentucky Derby leaderboard points. There's no doubt about that. And, of course, a new twist that just started last year. You know how they have the Kentucky Derby pari-mutuel future book wagers that come out 4 pools before the Kentucky Derby. Well, last year and now this year, again, Pimlico, the Maryland Jockey Club there, is instituting a Preakness future book wager for the Preakness Stakes. That first of their 2 pools for the Preakness is going to be over this weekend. It'll start at 9 a.m. this morning, just about when we're off the air. And then it'll go through 5 p.m. Saturday. These are Pacific times now for Pool 1 in the Preakness. And as you know, Bob Baffert and his horses have been excluded from racing at Churchill Downs, so his horses won't go in the Preakness. But Nisos, one of the top 3-year-olds in the country, and by the way, who is expected to go possibly in the San Felipe. I understand they took entries for the San Felipe yesterday. It hasn't been published yet. 5 horses, only 5 horses, I understand, were entered yesterday. They might open the box again today before they shut the box for the San Felipe. And 2 horses have been entered from Bob Baffert's barn in that race. But Nisos, Bob Baffert's top 3-year-old, which will be prohibited now to run in the Kentucky Derby, is the individual future book favorite for the Preakness Stakes. And as you know, he can run horses in Maryland and the Preakness Stakes. So, and the same parameters are with that. 40 positions, 39 individual horses, and the 40th one are all others for the Preakness future book. So that's going to start in about a couple of hours here in Las Vegas. And be reminded, there's an 18% takeout on that bet for the future book and the Preakness. So we'll wait and see about that. All right, on today's show, we got Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, of course, is going to be, we'll just go over some of the fields for the big races, and we'll start getting Jonathan's pick for those big races starting tomorrow through Saturday. But we'll just take a thumbnail on what's going on with the 4 Kentucky Derby leaderboard points preps for this weekend that'll happen on Saturday. Of course, we'll have John Lendo aboard. He's going to tell us what's going on late in Southern California. Hopefully, he'll have a decision from the racing office at Santa Anita whether they're going to run on Saturday or not. And, of course, Jerry Jakowitz will be along with us. Hey, Jonathan came up big yesterday. He gave us 2 selections on the show yesterday for Florida racing. His horse at Tampa Bay ran a good second in that race to the big favorite in the race. The second race winner, Swing Low, paid $320. So Jonathan's horse couldn't beat the favorite, but was live on the board. And, of course, if you used the favorite with his horse, you got the exacta there. But at Gulfstream Park, Jonathan's horse did beat the prohibitive favorite in that race. In the third race, Starship Sigrun ran down the leaders and just polished off the 4-5 favorite in that race. Starship Sigrun paid $12.80 for the $2 win mutual at Gulfstream Park, Jonathan's pick yesterday. So good stuff there. And, of course, we want to welcome all of the listeners that are here watching us on the South Point Studios position on YouTube. Go to YouTube, hit South Point Studios, and you get to see and hear us on this show every day. And, of course, if you haven't hit subscribe yet, do that. It's free. We just want to know where you guys are at, so you hit subscribe, and it'll be free there. And, of course, all of our listeners here in Las Vegas who are running around town in the morning, maybe listening on their radios in their car at Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. And, of course, all of you out there, all you folks that love the Internet, we got our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas.world, .global, that stream the show, and also on many different podcasting as well. And for those of you with your phones, or your devices, as we call them these days, your iPhone or your Android, you can get the KSHP app on your Android, on your iPhone, stick it on there, and you can hear us on your devices as well. So however, wherever, whenever you get us, welcome to the Race Day Show for this almost Friday, Thursday. And without any further ado, we'll wrap up this greeting to you and go right to our first break. When we come back, we'll give you your racing menu. And, of course, Jonathan Hardoon is standing by. We'll talk about those Derby prep races this weekend. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
From the South Point Studio, the perfect blend of sports.
But I think the Niners are going to wear them down. Detroit Pistons lost their 36 games.
Comedy.
See over-under on that relationship lasting. I'm going to put mayo in the coffee.
Yeah. I am beautiful. And a whole lot of Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. Yeah. Pittsburgh.
Join Ryan McCormick.
That's at least 2 picks outside of our own in the first round next year. Rio.
And host Frank Nicotero.
I look at the clock, I go, ah! Ah! Oh!
Watch Punchlines live at noon every weekday.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this almost Friday, Thursday, and all I can say is that for the most part, it looks like the racing conditions for the other tracks that are holding Kentucky Derby prep races with Kentucky Derby points look pretty well clear and ready to rock and roll. We're still waiting on the big races at Santa Anita on Saturday. However, whatever the case may be there, they've already decided that those 4 big races that were supposed to be on the Saturday card will be transferred and run on Sunday. So it'll still be this weekend. And, of course, the rest of that Saturday card may be punched to a special Monday racing card. We'll wait and see about that. In any case, let's go to the racing menu of racetracks available today in the race books, the simulcast centers around the country, reminding everybody, as we often do, that the first post times we broadcast on this show each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone. So if you're listening here in Las Vegas, these will be the first post times that roll out in our race books today. If you're listening anywhere else in another time zone, you know what to do. Adjust to the Pacific time zone so you don't miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad. Okay? First post times are Pacific, and that's because these will be the first post times that roll out in our race books here, especially here at the South Point right behind me. All right, so here's your menu for today. For this Thursday, we begin with Mahoning Valley Racecourse. Mahoning Valley Racecourse has 8 races. Their first post time is 9:45. 9:45 at Mahoning Valley today with an 8-race card. Then we go to Gulfstream Park, getting ready for their big day on Saturday there with the Fountain of Youth and a whole abundance of stakes races. 9 stakes races at Gulfstream on Saturday. Today, their first post time is 10:10 first post at Gulfstream for their 9-race card. Their Pick 6 jackpot carryover is getting up there now. It's $568,008. $568,008 for the Pick 6 jackpot cash in the jackpot today at Gulfstream. First post time for their 9 races is set at 10:10 first post at Gulfstream. Remember that there's an important allowance race tomorrow at Gulfstream that may have a few horses that would have run in the Fountain of Youth in that race tomorrow. We'll wait and see how that shakes out. In the meantime, we continue with your racing menu. Aqueduct today will have a first post time of 10:20. 10:20 first post at Aqueduct. And Aqueduct Racecourse right now, they say, mostly cloudy, track's fast, and it's going to be about 35 degrees when they go to post time for the first race at Aqueduct. And again, remember, Aqueduct's first post time is 10:20 today for their 8-race card. All right, then we go to the Fairgrounds, New Orleans. Fairgrounds has a first post time for 10 races at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. first post at the Fairgrounds. Let's see, their carryover, nope. They hit the carryover yesterday at the Fairgrounds in their Pick 6, so they have 10 races and a first post time at 10:45. Then we get to Sunland Park. Today, Sunland Park has 9 thoroughbred races. 9 thoroughbred races today at Sunland. They got a regular Pick 5 carryover, $302. Super High 5 carryover there is $620. First post time at Sunland, 11:25 for their 9 races. Then we get to Turf Paradise in Phoenix, Arizona. Turf Paradise has 9 races. The first 3 races at Turf Paradise today will be quarter horse trials at 350 yards for 3-year-olds. Races 4 through 9 will be thoroughbreds, a couple of thoroughbred stakes races as well, small ones at that. Their 9-race card at Turf Paradise starts at 11:35, and Turf Paradise has a Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $28,800 in their carryover in their Pick 6 first post time, 11:35. Then we go to Turfway Park. Turfway Park has 9 races. Their first post time is 2:55. 2:55 at Turfway Park. Their Super High 5 carryover there is $4,343. They got a Pick 6 jackpot carryover there at Turfway Park of $22,686. First post time Turfway, 9 races, 2:55. Then we go to Penn National. Penn National has a regular Pick 5 carryover of $8,665. So just a regular Pick 5 carryover there at Penn National. Their Super High 5 jackpot carryover, $1,254. 7 races today at Penn Nat. First post time is at 3 o'clock. Then we have Charlestown Racing. Charlestown will wrap it up with a Pick 6 jackpot carryover of $8,567 and a first post time of 4 p.m. at Charlestown. And that is your racing menu for this almost Friday, Thursday out there for racing around the country. All right, let's bring in Jonathan Hardoon now. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
Well, I know you're doing a lot of work, my man. You've got all these sheets going on, all these stakes races around the country. Not only do we have 4 Kentucky Derby leaderboard points races up for grabs, we've got 2 more Kentucky Oaks leaderboard points up for grabs. And then in addition to that, Aqueduct, Santa Anita, and especially Gulfstream Park have all these other stakes races on the same card for the other divisions. For example, Aqueduct is going to have 4 stakes races overall, one of which is the Gotham. And Santa Anita is going to have 4 if they run on Saturday, one of which is the San Felipe. And then Gulfstream Park has 9 stakes races, one of which is the Fountain of Youth. So you got a lot of work cut out for you. And what we're going to do, I think, on this show is break it up between tomorrow and Saturday. Your thoughts about those stakes races, where you want to go on those sheets for the 2 days. But we're going to start breaking it up between tomorrow and Saturday because there'll be just too much to cover on Saturday. But for today, just wanted to talk about the field sizes and the entries for the 4 Kentucky Derby leaderboard point races. And your man, Brad Cox, I mean, the Gotham Stakes got the most entries. They got 13 in it. And Brad Cox has got 4 horses in that race. But interestingly enough, from Southern California, not only does 2 Southern California horses show up there, John Sadler has a horse in the race. Doug O'Neill has a horse in the race. And the Gotham, of course, is, I believe, at a mile, right?
The Gotham is at 1 mile. It's 1 turn at Aqueduct. They have the chute down the backstretch, and it's a 1-turn mile, flat mile.
And my assumption is I think that most of the guys, and especially the 2 that from California that sent horses there, are looking maybe on Kentucky Derby Day, but maybe the Pat Day mile on the undercard there on Saturday, the first Saturday of May. What do you say?
It could be, but they could also be ducking Baffert. If they think that it's a short field there and Baffert's going to have 2 or 3 horses in the race, so they figure they probably have a better shot shipping to New York, at least to get some points. So maybe that's why they did it. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe they are pointing for the Pat Day mile. We'll find out soon enough.
Well, Doug O'Neill's got a Facenda in that race. Abel Cedillo is going to go out to ride him for him there. But John Sadler is going to tap a local jockey, Jose Lascano, for his Slider, a horse that a lot of people liked last year as a juvenile leading up to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And Slider, of course, he's a horse that has a hell of a closing kick to him. But he only showed it 1 time in his career so far.
Well, he's drawn well for a flat mile. You want to be outside for the most part, and he draws outside. The problem is, there are other good horses, and like you said, Cox is loaded in there. He's got 3 or 4 horses that are running. I'm not sure they're all going to go, but they're very high on a horse named Just a Touch, who only had 1 start in the slop at Fairgrounds, and he was ultra impressive that day. But again, that was an off track. Who knows? But the horse has been training very well, and they're very high on that horse. So let's see what happens. We got to do the race and handicap it and take it apart. Christopher Clement had a horse that was highly regarded back at Saratoga. He had 1 start, and he was ultra impressive that day. Deterministic is the horse's name, number 3. He went off 3-1 that day. I know that barn is high on that horse, too. So you may have a couple of hidden gems in this group.
And Joel Rosario will ride Deterministic in the race for Christophe Clement, and that's Clement's number 1 guy is Rosario.
Well, he rode the horse back at Saratoga, and Rosario also rode the Sadler horse last time out, Slider, in the San Vicente when he finished 3rd. I guess he opted for the Clement horse. And I think he probably picked the right horse between the 2 of them.
Well, you got to think that between Rosario and his agent, he, like I said, is a first call guy for Clement, and they did so well at Saratoga last year. And I know that Rosario right now has his tack laid in the jocks room at Santa Anita, but you got to think that it was a no-brainer to stay with Clement's horse in this race.
Yeah, not only that, I'm sure he's going to have better opportunities riding for Clement the rest of the year as opposed to Sadler. Sadler uses the California jockeys for the most part, and Rosario for the most part is going to ride in New York. I know he's spending the winter at Santa Anita, but as soon as it warms up, he'll be back. So
yeah, no question about that. Now, as far as the San Felipe in Southern California, we really don't know the exact number of horses, and I understand that there were 5 entered, but that racing office may very well open the race for entries this morning before they decide what to do. It's kind of a goofy thing what's going on in Southern California, but of the 5 that we understand are already entered in the race, 2 are from Baffert, and of course, we're talking about Nisos, which is the top Baffert horse right now. And, of course, the individual horse in the future book for the Preakness Stakes, which I'm sure that Baffert wants to get into the Preakness and take on whoever wins the Derby with his horse.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll be a real short price in the future book, and I think it's a ridiculous bet to make so far out. A lot could go wrong, unfortunately, between now and then, but people like betting those bets. Personally, I think it's a sucker bet because a lot of times you get the odds the same day of the race that you're betting in the future book, and you don't have to wait all those months with your money tied up. You never know. You just never know. And if you're betting a future bet, Ralph, you got to take at least 50 to 1 at this point. If you take anything less, I think it's a silly bet.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely for sure because they lock up a lot of money on a lot of horses that don't make those races even before the race starts, and then there's only one winner anyhow. The John Battaglia is one kind of like a secondary race as far as the Derby points are concerned. It has 20 Derby points, okay? It's run on synthetic racetrack. Of course, we remember that Animal Kingdom came out of that prep in Terrifway Park and went on to win the Kentucky Derby. But nevertheless, the John Battaglia is more of a prep for the the bigger stakes race that comes later on, the Jack Ruby Stakes. And
the Jeff Ruby Stakes that's the 100-pointer. That's the one that they sponsor or whatever. That's the important one. I got 20 points on synthetic. I mean, is it really going to make a difference?
Well, no, I don't think it is. But at the same time, they've got an oversubscribed field of 14, and your man Cox has got horses in that race as well. He put 3 horses in that race, but the purse is $150,000. So why not? Even if you're not thinking about going to the Kentucky Derby. Right?
Yeah, I mean, and you're not facing the top guns, let's be honest, so who knows?
Yeah. Now,
again, and the problem is when you have all these horses, when a trainer like Cox or Pletcher, where they have, or Asmussen, where they have 5 to 10 horses that are nominated and they're able to run, you got to separate them and you got to be able to get points. That's the key.
Yes, that's absolutely for sure. Because remember, the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby is 20. And we all remember a couple of years ago how Rich Strike, who was outside looking in not more than 48 hours before the race, got in and won in one of the major Richter scale wins of all time. So, you never can tell, as you say, even with future book bets, you never can tell what's going to happen in these races for these 3-year-olds, that's for sure. And, of course, the big race is the Fountain of Youth, and that's $400,000. That has a 50 leaderboard points, but that's the big prep for, of course, the Florida Derby that will have 100 future book points. But this is a very good and deep field, 9 horses in it, and of course your man Cox doesn't show up with anything in the Fountain of Youth. Todd Pletcher has a couple though.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if Pletcher runs Speakeasy, who just had 1 start. It was a maiden win. It was a big figure on the sheets, and it's 1 number. It was sprinting, and now he's asking the horse in career start number 2 to stretch out to 2 turns. He drew the rail, so that may be a reason that he'll run, but he also has locked in the race the number 8 horse, who was scratched last week or the week before because he spiked the fever, and I guess he pointed for this spot. So it's going to be interesting to see if Pletcher runs them both. And then you have Dornock in the race, and Dornock beat Sierra Leone last time out at Aqueduct in the Remsen, but Dornock was on the best part of the track that day. If you remember, we liked Sierra Leone because he was against the track. Dornock was totally with the track. So it may not have. Listen, the horse won, so take nothing away from him. He was passed. He came back and won. But I don't know how strong a race that was. Listen, Sierra Leone came out of that race and won, so obviously there was something to it. But Dornoch may be overplayed for that reason because he did beat Sierra Leone last time out, even though I think Sierra Leone was the better horse that day.
You know, there's another horse in that race that some people have been talking about that has to step up to the plate, and that is Gustavo Delgado's Victory Avenue that gets the services of John Velasquez. Might be a good horse to put, if not on top, certainly in the gimmick for Exacta and Trifecta.
Well, there you have a maiden running against winners in a stake race. You know, these are lightly raced horses. They have 1 and 2 starts, maybe a few more. And horses certainly have an opportunity to improve in career start number 2. Not easy to win at 7 furlongs first out. This horse got beat. He ran second that day, but he ran very, very well. He got beat by Speakeasy, the rail horse, the Todd Pletcher horse in the race. So they get to meet again.
And we do remember not too many days ago that Mr. Dwayne Lucas unpopped a maiden to win the race, the Philly race over there at Oaklawn. So it can happen. The thing that intrigued me was not only the fact of that race against Speakeasy, and Speakeasy's race kind of stands out among past performances in this field for Saturday, but also the fact that they attract John Velasquez to ride the horse.
Well, I mean, you know, if you're going to get an opportunity to ride, you're not going to sit home. But, yeah, you're right about that. That's interesting. And, you know, a lot of times Velasquez will ride for Pletcher, but Ortiz was on the Speakeasy first out, so he kept him there. And Luis Saez, I guess, opted off. He must be going somewhere else because Velasquez ended up on the Gustavo Delgado Victory Avenue mount.
Yeah, and the other horse that Pletcher has in the race, Locked, has Jose Ortiz aboard there. So Pletcher locked up.
Yeah, by the way,
locked
Luis Saez ended up on Dornoch, who I guess he had to go to over the maiden.
Yeah, Danny Gargan's horse. Yeah, but I guess Pletcher locked up the Ortizes, so he's not going to get beat by one brother and the other. That's for sure. But and there's a lot of great stakes races also on the undercard at Gulfstream. Thank goodness they don't have to be playing this guessing game for the weather there. It should be fine in South Florida for those races. So we'll start getting picks from you in earnest on between tomorrow and Saturday. That's for sure. Nice winner yesterday.
Just a little note, Ralph. There is a pick six carryover. I think it's like close to 700,000 after today. If it's not hit Saturday, Sunday becomes a mandatory payout, and they will have a humongous pool. I mean, with all the money they're going to put in the next few days, including Saturday, who knows what's going to be in the mandatory payout for Sunday if it's not hit before.
And that's at Gulfstream Park, a mandatory on Sunday, the day after the big day. But there's still a lot of players with a lot of money going to be throwing it in there, because that carryover right now is attractive of and within itself. So we'll wait and see. You got to go through today, tomorrow, and Saturday before you get to the mandatory. It'll be mandatory on Sunday no matter what, but we're talking about the big multi-million-dollar pot. So we'll wait and see about that. As I was going to say, and I'm going to say now, nice win yesterday with that horse that looked the big prohibitive favorite in the eye at Gulfstream and went right on by.
Yeah, we were stuck on seconds. We had a couple of them in a row. I said, oh, no, please go by. He went by, so that was good.
All right, well, time to get some, let's parlay some of that to more, because as you say, if we're going to have carryovers and all that stuff going on this week, we got to build up a bankroll from Mr. Hardoon. So what are we going to do? We're going to parlay that $12.80 winner to wear today on the show.
Well, we're going to give out two races, one at Gulfstream, one at Aqueduct. Let's do Aqueduct first and look at their eighth race. By the way, they only have 8 races today, so a post time of 10:20 your time, 1:20 East Coast time. And I like the 8th and final race. I like the number 9 horse, Dr. Kraft, a 4-year-old colt from the Chris Englehart barn. This horse is in the best racing shape of his career. 2 tough beats in his last 2 starts. Today he draws an outside box. Dylan Davis aboard to ride. I like number 9, Dr. Kraft, 4-1 on the morning line to win today's 8th and final out at Aqueduct.
All right, we can wrap up the pick 6. We can wrap up the late pick 5. We can wrap up the late pick 4, the late pick 3, the late double, and wrap it all up with a winner in the 8th and final race at Aqueduct, the 8th race, number 9, Dr. Kraft. Number 9, Dr. Kraft with Dylan Davis aboard. That's your selection at Aqueduct. And by the way, we got late scratches in there. Oh, bing, bing, bing. Dr. Kraft has been scratched.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Time to pull in.
All right, before you get started, and if you're going to stay in that 8th race, numbers 3, 8, and 9 are out.
No, I no longer have interest in that race. Let's go to race number 6. Switch it to race number 6. Call the audible here. Another mile on the main track. And I like the number 9 horse in here, Boss Making Boss Moves. So this horse's last 2 races will both run around 2 turns, a mile and an eighth. Cuts back to a flat mile today, draws a good outside box. Jose Rivera aboard to ride. He's listed at 5-1 on the morning line. David Duggan, the trainer's having a terrific meet. I like number 9, Boss Making Boss Moves, to win today's 6th race. Out of that.
All right, audible said and done. In the 6th race, you like the 9, Boss Making Boss Moves. The 9 in the 6th race now is Jonathan Hardoon's alternate play now that Dr. Kraft. By the way, Dylan Davis, your jockey on Dr. Kraft that got scratched, leading jockey right now at the Aqueduct meet with 32 wins. Kendrick Carmouche second with 28. Jose Lascano third with 25. And, of course, as far as the trainers are concerned, you know, Linda Rice is on top. She's got 18 over Rudy Rodriguez at 12 and David Jacobson at 11. So in that 6th race now, you like number 9 and the 6th at Aqueduct. And now we'll go next, I guess, to Gulfstream.
Yeah, let's look at race number 8, 7.5 furlongs on the turf. And I like the number 9 horse in here, the Man Up Front. This is a 3-year-old colt from the Michael Yates barn. Louis Saez takes the mount. Horse makes his 3rd start back off of a layoff. It's a tough post, but he's 5-1, and he's got enough early speed to get position here. I like number 9, the Man Up Front, Louis Saez for Michael Yates. 5-1 on the morning line to win today's 8th race out at Gulfstream.
And that's exactly where we want this man to be at the finish line, up front. So in the 8th race, you got the 9, the Man Up Front, the 9 in the 8th race at Gulfstream. And, of course, that's your selection there. We don't have the late scratches yet at Gulfstream, but hopefully you'll stay in. The 9 in the 8th. Now, you got 2 sheets for today, right? Aqueduct and Gulfstream.
Correct. JONHARDOON.com.
All right. You got it. Thanks a lot, Jonathan. Get a little shot and then get back to work because you got a lot of races to handicap.
Thanks, Ralphie. Stay safe and be well.
All right. You got it, my man. Coming up next, we got John Lindo standing by. I hope maybe John's got the answer from Santa Anita. Is it a go for Saturday? Or do we have to run those 4 stakes races on Sunday? Well, that's the question. He'll give us an answer right after this. Don't go away.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos with another big weekend of stakes trials racing action. The best fillies in the nation will race in the trials to the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Oaks on Saturday night. Kindergarten winner Double Down 1-2-3 Stakes winner Asher and graded stakes finalists Check-In Cartel and Southern Divine will be in action. On Sunday night, top sophomores will be in the trials to the Grade 2 El Primero del Año Derby. Trial hopefuls include Grade 1 Edbert Million winner Political Rivalry and Wild West winner 5 Bar Supreme. The horses with the 10 fastest times for each race will advance to the finals on March 24th and 25th. And as always, Los Alamitos will feature night racing's best bets, like our early and late pick fours, and the $10,000 pick six promo on Sundays if there's not a carryover. Enjoy the best of daytime simulcast racing at Los Alamitos. For Vessels Club reservations, call 714-820-2681. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos.
From the South Point studio, the perfect blend of sports.
But I think the Niners are going to wear them down. Detroit Pistons lost their 36 games.
Comedy.
See over-under on that relationship lasting. I'm going to put mayo in the coffee.
Yes. I am beautiful. And a whole lot of Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. Yeah. Pittsburgh.
Join Ryan McCormick.
That's at least 2 picks outside of our own in the first round next year. Rio.
And host Frank Nicotero.
I look at the clock, I go, ah! Ah! Oh!
Watch Punchlines live at noon every weekday.
Okay, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this almost Friday, Thursday, and it's almost Saturday as well. And we got to find out. We got racing going on at Santa Anita on Saturday. Let's find out if John Lendo has that answer, or we're still waiting. John, good morning.
Hey, Ralph, I have a few updates for you. First of all, Brad Free of Daily Racing Form just posted an article that Santa Anita will move the big cap card to Sunday due to forecasted rain. So the entire card that was drawn yesterday, they're not taking any additional entries into that card. But that card as drawn yesterday will be run Sunday, and then they are planning to have another race day on Monday.
Okay, so in other words, Sunday's racing, Sunday's book, the book as far as condition book, that card will be moved to Monday, and we have the Saturday card that's already been drawn, no more entries in it. They'll just uplift that and put that on Sunday. And did he say what finally how many final entries for the San Felipe?
He had said yesterday that there were 5, including Nisos. So Bob Baffert has 3 of the 5 horses. Nisos is his big horse in there. I don't have it; just came across now, so I haven't even read the article yet.
Okay.
So we'll see, but we do know now that no racing Saturday at Santa Anita. They'll run the big cap card on Sunday. One other piece of news for you, Ralph.
Yes.
At Gulfstream Park, Mike Welsh at Daily Racing Form tells me that Speak Easy will run in the Fountain of Youth. They like the post number 1. They like the shorter distance than the 1 1/8 allowance race on Friday. And because he runs in the Fountain of Youth, Merritt, who was entered in both races, he will scratch from the Fountain of Youth, and he will run tomorrow, Friday, in the allowance race.
All right, good stuff there, John. That's for sure. And all I can say is I think that's a smart move with Speak Easy grabbing the rail. And the configuration of that racetrack at 1 16th, he's going to get an advantageous spot. All he's got to do is brake well, that's for sure. And that allowance race tomorrow is still going to have a deep and competitive field in it, that's for sure. And with those late information now on the show and all that stuff there, I guess we'll have to wait for, Sunday will be a big day of racing then. We got a big weekend of racing, Saturday and Sunday, of course, with those races. But glad to see that they made a decision early enough so people can adjust if they have to, that's for sure. And I guess they expect to get a lot of rain, especially in the Arcadia area where Santa Anita is at on Saturday.
Yeah, there's a 60% chance of rain coming in tomorrow, Friday. I'm hoping, and they're hoping it comes in Friday night so we can get the card in without any problems tomorrow at Santa Anita. And then it's supposed to get a steady rain on Saturday. I am told, a half an inch, so it's not a ton of rain, but if it's steady, they're going to err on the side of caution, which is what we do now in Southern California.
Yeah, no question about that. Interesting as far as Saturday is concerned with the Kentucky Derby leader points races, and the Gotham, of course, is a prep for the Wood Memorial, but still it's a one-turn, 1 mile race. And it's intriguing, I think, that both John Sadler and Doug O'Neill send horses out there for that race.
Yeah, especially the slider from trainer John Sadler's barn. I don't think he has any intention of going, a mile and a quarter or a mile and 3/16 the Preakness. He looks like a one-turn horse, so the Gotham makes sense. And you had mentioned something like the Pat Day Mile on Derby Day. That might be in the cards for a horse like Slider.
Yeah, no question about that. And of course, Brad Cox got horses all over the place. However, it is amazing, that he has 4 in the Gotham, but he's got none in the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, I was a little surprised he didn't have anything down there, but he's got stables in New York and stables back over here at Fairgrounds and Oaklawn, so he's got enough to keep him busy. And I don't think he wanted to go into Todd Pletcher's backyard there unless he really had, he had the nuts. So a lot of options for him, and don't worry, I don't worry about guys like Brad Cox. They know what they're doing.
No question about that. That's for sure. Well, John, your Lindo report, of course, is you have a Lindo report out today in the racebook right behind me here at the South Point for a Gulfstream Park today. You can only get the Lindo report each and every day that he produces one here at the South Point in Las Vegas, free of charge, only here, complimentary from South Point because they love horse players here, as simple as that. So you have a Lindo report here today for Gulfstream. Now, of course, you'll be making some adjustments as well. You'll have a Santa Anita Lindo report, obviously, for tomorrow if they go. But on Saturday, you were going to produce 2 full Lindo reports for both Gulfstream and Santa Anita anyway, weren't you?
Yeah, I was going to. We were already just about finishing up the Gulfstream. Just got to tighten that up for Saturday. So we'll have the Gulfstream Park Saturday. Obviously, we will have the feature will be Santa Anita on Sunday. And if they do race a Monday card as a makeup for the Saturday postponement, then we'll do the Monday as well.
All right. So today, Gulfstream, tomorrow, Santa Anita, Saturday, Gulfstream, and Sunday, Santa Anita, right?
Yep. East to west to east to west.
All right. You got it, my man. As you normally do on every week when you start the Lindo report for the first day of whatever meet you're covering, you usually update jockey trainer standings. So what's it look like at Gulfstream right now?
Well, the usual suspects. Arad Ortiz is the leading jockey. He's got 86 wins. Paco Lopez second with 71. Jose Ortiz rounds out the top 3. He's got 66. As far as the trainers, Safi Joseph way in front now. He's got 47 winners at the meet. Todd Pletcher is second with 24. Then you have Mark Cassidy and the hot Jose D'Angelo barn. They've each got 21 wins. And for you, Ralph, favorites winning right around 39% at Gulfstream Park.
Oh, well, that's a lot better than Santa Anita, that's for sure. And it's amazing because the Ortiz brothers together at Gulfstream Park has accounted for 152 races already. So you got to watch those guys, that's for sure. All right, well, we get to Gulfstream Park. We've got a Lindo report today for Gulfstream. So, John, what are we doing there?
We're going to go down to the 9th and final. I thought number 7, Pace Zone, was sharpening his speed in a Tapeta 5 furlong sprint last time where he chased a really fast pace. He gets back on dirt, which is his preferred surface, draws an outside post, and I don't think there's that much speed in this race. I think he clears early under Arad Ortiz, and if we get anything close to 7-2, I don't think so, but if we get 5-2 or more, number 7, Pace Zone, looks like the right horse, race number 9, Gulfstream Park.
All right, 9th race, you like the 7 Pay Zone. His morning line 7-2, but be forewarned that the 3-1 morning line horse, Caton, has been scratched, and the 8 horse, Maptitude, at 15-1 has been scratched. So you got 2 scratches out of that race, but nevertheless, a nice way to get a win in the anchor race, always at a racetrack, and that in the 9th race, you got Pay Zone. Let's hope he pays us in the Pay Zone. 9th race, the 7 at Gulfstream Park, John Lindo's pick. And don't forget, John's got the full Lindo report for today at Gulfstream right now here at the South Point, free of charge, only here. You can only get it complimentary here at the South Point. And again, because they love horse players and they love John Lindo's Lindo report as well, and so do we. All right, John, thanks a lot for the late update breaking news there in Southern California. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Ralph. Good luck today.
All right, we're going to squeeze in a final break, and when we come back, Jerry Jackowitz standing by with his Aqueduct picks for us as well. Don't go away.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos with another big weekend of stakes trials racing action. The best fillies in the nation will race in the trials to the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Oaks on Saturday night. Kindergarten winner, Double Down 1, 2, 3 stakes winner Asher, and graded stakes finalists Check-In Cartel and Southern Divine will be in action. On Sunday night, top sophomores will be in the trials to the Grade 2 El Primero del Año Derby. Trial hopefuls include Grade 1 Edberg Million winner Political Rivalry and Wild West winner 5 Bar Supreme. The horses with the 10 fastest times for each race will advance to the finals on March 24th and 25th. And as always, Los Alamitos will feature night racing's best bets, like our early and late pick fours, and the $10,000 pick six promo on Sundays if there's not a carryover. Enjoy the best of daytime simulcast racing at Los Alamitos. For Vessels Club reservations, call 714-820-2681. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
And don't forget, in addition to Race Day Las Vegas on the South Point Studios section of YouTube, we also have other great shows, and they include, of course, Frank Nicotero's show, Punchlines. You've been listening to commercials there, Wednesday through Sunday, 7 to 8. Monday through Friday. I'm Wednesday through Sunday. Monday through Friday from noon to 1 o'clock. And, of course, Sports by the Book, 7 days a week. You got to get your information on sports every day, and we got it here, Sports by the Book, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4, Saturday and Sunday. An extended version, 8:30 to 10 a.m., all on the South Point Studios Network on YouTube. Got to check them out. It's really they're really great shows. All right, let's go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph.
Well, you got a fast track today at Aqueduct, that's for sure. And although we have been conversing with you about betting strategies and all that other stuff, today we'll cut right to the chase and get some picks.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a play in the sixth race, and I'm going to point out a race that might actually be set up nicely for a proposition bet, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's do the play first, Ralph.
Go.
Let's go to race number 6. Number 2, Portos, listed morning line 5-1 for Wayne Potts. Really interesting horse, has a lot of back power, really faster than these, raced with better horses, and now he's sort of dropping down in class. Not the, I call it stoutest type of horse. He doesn't stick his nose in there that often. So This becomes a really good win place bet at 5-2 or better. I like the 2, Portos. It's a really good key. It's just a matter of value. And play the 2 with the 1-5-6. Do reverses 1-5-6 over the 2.
All right.
Keep that in mind as you build a play.
All right. 6th race at Aqueduct. You like the 2 over 1-5-6 and reverse. We have Jonathan Hardoon came in that race with an alternate play. He liked the 9 in there, so I got a Siraco play of the 2-9-9-2 exacta box. But you are 2.
I'm adding the 9 in my play.
All right. You got it. We got the 2 over 1-5-6 and 9 and reverse. And, of course, the Siraco play 2-9. Jerry's key horse is the 2. Jerry, you got a minute to give me the other one.
Yeah, just go to the 4th race, pick up the power page, go to the 4th race. If any of the top 5 horses scratch, you have a beautiful setup for a prop bet.
And you do, and you do, because number 3, Mudville 9, the 3 horse has been scratched in that race.
Great. So it's really a lovely proposition wager. We can check it out tomorrow.
Okay.
See how it goes.
Yes, you got 3 other horses out of the top 4 that are in that race, and again, the 3 is out, so they're going to apply your betting strategy as you've been giving as far as the 3 other horses left out of the top.
Right, I'm going to go 4 by 4.
Okay, so in other words, the 4th horse position takes the place with the 5th horse moving up, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Good enough. Jerry J's Power Pages for all this good stuff and these lessons as well, available right at jerryjspowerpage.com. Get it from Jerry there. All right, well, we're moving into the weekend, that's for sure, and of course we're going to have a lot to say about all those big races over the weekend as well. Don't forget to stay tuned for the other 2 great shows on the South Point Network here at YouTube. And, well, you know, we always say this. Jerry, you got one more thing to say.
Have a great race day, everybody.